How did President Mkapa take it? How did you approach President Mkapa now? He believed in you, he gave you that important post, and now you go back to him telling him, now I want to leave, I want to go into business. And that was a very unheard of before. Someone senior like you saying that they want to go into private sector. It was probably you are one of the first senior executive to leave at the early age of 48 to go into business. How did you do that? How was that process?
It's a meeting and an experience I don't want to go through it again in my life.
Oh, really? Yeah?
It was tough. It was tough. This is the president that, as I said, he was my foreign minister twice, so he personally knew me. So because of that personal relationship, I couldn't write a letter of resignation. It would have been impolite.
Yes.
So the best way was to go and face him.
So you came from Pretoria to...
I came from Pretoria to go and see him. And he gave me, I remember, he gave me an appointment for 12:30 on a Saturday afternoon. And I thought it would be a half an hour thing gone. But then I didn't realize that he had invited me for lunch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when we were having pre-lunch drinks, I couldn't. Maybe I thought I should take some more drinks to get the courage. Yeah, and then when we went having lunch again, the food was nice, the wine was flowing. I couldn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah,
you kept thinking, how am I going to?
And then when we after lunch we were having coffee, and that's when I gathered the courage to tell him, and he was shocked. He was only used to seeing people going to see him to appeal for extension of contracts or get appointments and all this. So this was his first experience to see someone going to...
asking to leave.
To leave. So I had the difficult task of explaining to him. And basically my three
reasons, as you explained.
But fundamentally, also, and it was correct, I was not remaining in South Africa, which I could, because there were a lot of opportunities there, a lot for employment or for business, But I decided to come back home. And perhaps this is the point that I managed to convince him, that I was not abandoning him. I was getting closer to him, because I sincerely believed at that point that whatever President Mkapa was doing, the economic revolution that he was instituting in the country, its success and sustainability very much depended on having a strong private sector that is modern, that is ethical, that is transparent, that is responsible, that is responsive.
Oh, yeah.
But also sufficiently indigenous.
Sufficiently indigenous, yes.
That's another. The locals have to be part of that.
Part of the process.
Yeah, you cannot have a sustainable economic system that leaves the locals outside.
So you wanted to represent the locals.
I said, and this is because I believed I came from very few privileged Tanzanians who have had good education, who have had exposures of traveling outside the country, interacting with different people. And in my case, I had the advantage of interacting with various corporate leaders in South Africa and other parts of the world, and getting through conversations, understanding, what business requirements, what investments requirements. So I believe that some of us, and this is what I told the president, don't feel bad, feel good. In fact, encourage more Tanzanians to be part of this Mkapa economic revolution on the private sector side. And precisely because the history of this country, most of us who were educated, who had the opportunity to travel across the world, were in public service, either in parastatus or in government. So the private sector that I was describing to the president had to come from the public sector.
So yeah, the strong private sector had to be from the public sector.
Yeah,
because the people were exposed, knowledgeable,
travel,
probably even connected.
Connected, interacted with various. So I said, don't feel bad, and encourage some more people, because the
Yes.
private sector that I'm describing will have to come from public sector.
Oh, fantastic.
And precisely because the sustainability of the revolution depends on modern private sector, the state has to play a role
Yes.
in creating this private sector and in supporting it. And I gave him an example. At that time was in the middle of privatization. I said, fine, we should abide by World Bank and IMF conditionalities that when you privatize these assets, there must be internationally competitive bidding process. But there's nothing wrong to put in small print that a bidder who comes with local partners will get preference.
Yes.
And then will give us value as Tanzanians. In this, otherwise, it's just like having a football match at the national stadium there, and the players are all foreign, and you reduce
local.
Tanzania to be spectators.
Spectators.
So I said, Mr. President, these locals may invade the field one day. Because they are not part of the game.
Yes.
And this is, I may say, some of the debate that we're having now in Tanzania.
Yes. It is coming from that kind of.
To date, the Tanzanians are not involved. They are
Yes.
not. They don't feel. Don't
The
have
biggest
a sense
part of the economy is still owned by foreigners or
Yes.
foreign companies.
Yes.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think that. Oh,
Yeah.
so the president understood you.
Yeah, he did, and I think that's the. So because I said I'm not running away from you, I'm coming back, and I'm becoming a foot soldier
Yes.
of those of the Mkapa economic revolution by having local Tanzanians being part of the economic process.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so he accepted.
So I said, don't feel bad, feel good, and encourage some more.
Yes.
Not only encourage, support.
Support more.
Yeah.
To transition into
Yeah.
business.
So to date, this is part of our problems. We are having this kind of debates like DP World and all these things. It's partly, I don't know the other reasons.
Yes, partly.
Partly because there's no sense of ownership of this economy. So when you hear these big investors coming, there's some resentment because someone
scared.
What is there for me? It's a human nature, but and that's why to date, most of us, our dinner table conversations are just limited to contributions for funerals, for weddings, but unlike others,
We don't speak about business at the dinner
about
table.
shares or
Stock markets, movements of the.
how much profit have you made this year? Even profit making, we feel it as a sin.
Maybe because most of us are more of employment and being employed and everything like that.